10 things that I do differently now that I'm in menopause. Hello, if you're new here, I'm Tracy. I'm 49 years old, and yes, I am in menopause. Not perimenopause, oh no. That phase of my life, or as my mother likes to call it, the change, is what I am in now. So a lot of you I know have told me that you have struggled with perimenopause and menopause, and this is where you'll want to be if this is where you want to learn to look better, feel better, and really navigate through this journey that we are all privileged enough to go through and really feel your best. So let's get into the 10 things that I do differently, and you'll definitely want to make sure that you stay to the end, because the last one, I have to tell you, it is a little bit controversial, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a little bit of heat. Before we get into the video, make sure you consider subscribing. It's free to do so. Just click on that subscribe button and let's dive in. The first thing that I do differently now that I'm in menopause is what I like to call the red and the white. So the first thing is I wear white at any time, and that was so weird for me. I kept thinking when I started noticing, like, oh wow, I haven't had a period in a few months, and I live in Miami, and I would wear like an all white outfit, and then I would be like, this is gonna be the day, this is gonna be the day, because you hear these horror stories of people where it's like they didn't have a period for 4 to 6 months, and then bam, the day they're wearing a white outfit, they completely ruin it. That luckily for me was not the case, but it is really liberating to be able to wear white at any time of the year and to not have to worry about it. Now the red part of this is I stopped drinking red wine. Now, I'm not gonna say that I never drink it, but it really used to be my beverage of choice, my cocktail of choice, and my body cannot handle it. That definitely started happening for me in perimenopause. Raise your hand by giving this video a like if this happened to you as well. You know, you start getting that hot flashes, you start not being able to absorb the sugar. I mean, alcohol, we all know it's a poison anyway, but I definitely was a lot harder on my body when I started going into perimenopause, and now that I'm in menopause, it's just really not a good cocktail for me. So I enjoy my white clothes with maybe a glass of white wine or even a martini, but that red wine, very few and far between. The second thing that I do differently is I do not do intermittent fasting any longer. Now, this is, again, this whole video is really about my experience and things that I personally do differently. So if you are doing intermittent fasting and it's working for you and you feel amazing and you're happy with it, go ahead and continue doing it. But for me personally, when I was actually in perimenopause, after I had my daughter, I no longer could do intermittent fasting. And unfortunately, because of social media and because, you know, we have access to so much information, there are so many polarizing views, and really, you know, people tell you like, you must do this if you want to be healthy, you have to do that. And that's not the case. You know, with me and here in my community, you'll hear me say all the time, every body is different. And that being said, what works for me might not necessarily work for you. But for me personally, especially now that I'm in menopause, I cannot do intermittent fasting. What I noticed was after having my daughter, and I had my daughter just 3 months before turning 45, so I'm definitely an older mom, I noticed that I just need to eat breakfast, and I need to eat it pretty early. It just really changed for me. I tried to kind of stay on that same schedule, but then I just found that, you know, because of the hormonal changes, I didn't have any energy, I didn't feel good, it just wasn't working for me anymore. So here's the thing, your body is always gonna give you information. Your body is gonna tell you what's working for you and what's not working for you by your energy levels, by how you feel, by how you look. So listen to your body. Take note of those messages that your body is sending you. So for me, since being in menopause, intermittent fasting is no longer a part of my life. I also did a whole video all about what I do to make my body look a good 10 years younger. So if you want to check out that video, it's up here in the cards and also down below in the description box. Make sure to check out that video next. The third thing that I'm doing differently now that I'm in menopause is I do less straight up cardio. You know, I used to be such a fan of cardio, cardio, cardio. We all grew up in the 80s. We were the cardio queens, right? We heard aerobics. You've got to really get that heart pumping. I still love doing cardio. So hear me out, lean in and listen to this. But what I like doing is more Tabata is really my favorite way of doing cardio or HIIT workouts. These have been proven from a hormonal perspective to really be the most most positive workouts for women as we get older, and especially in perimenopause and menopause. So definitely check out Tabata workouts and HIIT workouts. I also love doing really long walks. You know, inside my fitness membership, Total Body Transformation, I have loads and loads of Tabata workouts and HIIT workouts, workouts where we're incorporating strength training and incorporating rest inside of the workout. So that's gonna help you build lean muscle mass, which is so, so important as we age, to help us, you know, with our metabolism, to help with our bone density, to help us just really look and feel our best, and that's what we all want, right? But also I find those workouts are just really fun and enjoyable, and that's a really important piece of any fitness program, is that you actually enjoy it. So just really, if you are in perimenopause or in menopause, Tabata and HIIT workouts are your friend. They're gonna help you, they're gonna help your hormones and help you really look and feel your best with time. We all know this is important, but we all struggle with this one. And the next thing that I do differently now that I'm in menopause is I prioritize my sleep. I'm laughing because this is really something that, you know, definitely when I got into perimenopause, I started noticing, like, why am I waking up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning? Why is my heart beating if I have a glass of wine? You know, all these things that were really affecting my sleep. So I truly make my sleep a priority. And as I mentioned before, I have a 4-year-old little daughter, and, you know, we have a sleep routine, and it's important for us as adults, and especially in menopause, to know that you also need a sleep routine. So just like you do with your kids when they were little, or if they're little now, a little bath, right? Taking a bath, you know, or a shower, some nice warm water, release your body, right? I love taking supplements to help me sleep. I can get into that later. I make sure that my screen time is off, and then just really making my sleep a part of my wellness routine. We feel better, we're more patient, it helps our hormones, it helps our metabolism. Everything improves when we have good sleep. So do whatever you need to do to make your sleep a priority. One thing I will tell you between us is I look absolutely crazy when I go to sleep, because not only am I like glistening like a glazed zeppoli, but I also have, you know, my glasses that are like my Bono glasses, because I like reading on a Kindle. I put my sleep mask on my forehead so that I can just quickly put it down. I just look absolutely insane, but I don't care, because it helps me sleep and it tells my body it's time to wind down now. The fifth thing that I do differently now that I'm in menopause is, drum roll please, HRT. Yes, I am a huge fan of HRT. I have been on HRT now for about 15 or so months, and it really was one of the best decisions that I ever made. I can make a whole video about this, and maybe even bring on my doctor to collaborate in a video with that, because obviously I am not a doctor, I am a patient and a user of HRT, but I have to say it truly changed my life. I noticed that, you know, I got pregnant through IVF, so I did many rounds of IVF, so I had a lot of hormones pumping through my body, and then I had a baby, and I had my baby, remember, just 3 months before turning 45. And so I was in the throes of perimenopause, really at the very end stages. And then, you know, now I'm in menopause. So I had all these hormonal shifts and changes happening. And after I had my daughter Lucci, I noticed that I felt like a dehydrated raisin by 3 p.m. And that's when she'd be getting up from her nap, and I would want to spend time with her when she still was napping, or, you know, then when she got a little bit older, she was out of school. So it was really one of the best decisions that I ever made. You know, talk to your doctor about it, do your research, advocate for yourself. I will tell you that after having my daughter, no shade here, but I went to my regular gynecologist, and I told, I was seeing a male gynecologist at the time, and I was like, you know, I really feel crappy. I feel like hormonally, you know, something's not right. Did my blood work, and he was like, you're fine. Everything's fine. Everything is as it should. But I knew intuitively that something was not right. And that's when I started really exploring, you know, hormones, and started seeing hormone specialists. And I'm just so, so happy. So HRT is really, I know it's a big decision for a lot of people, but I have to tell you, in my experience, it was one of the best things that I ever did. I'm so happy that I did it, and it truly changed my body, my life, and really my family life too, because everyone's happier when mom is happy. We touched on this a little bit before, but I do think as we age and in menopause, one of the best things that you can do is less screen time, unless you're watching my YouTube videos. But truly, you know, get the screens. I don't have a TV in my bedroom, much to my husband's chagrin. I now try to use the downtime on my phone so that like by 9 p.m. my phone will shut down. I can't be on social media. I can't use anything. You know, I can't get on email, all of those things. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect with that. I'm not. There are times when I'm like, ignore because maybe I wanted to check my email before I go to sleep or respond to a friend or something like that. But just having that extra step, it makes such a huge difference in me just being able to get off of the screens. Now I do, as I mentioned, I do like reading with a Kindle. It's just because I don't like a lot of stuff in my house and I read a lot. So I do use those glasses, you know, for my screen time, especially at night, to make sure that even with a Kindle, they say it doesn't affect your eyes. But now that I'm used to using the orange light, I really notice a difference. So try to turn off, give yourself a wellness routine where screen time is really off. Not only is it good for you, but it's also a good example if you have children so that they know, you know, we don't have phones in our bedroom. We don't, you know, watch TV right before going to sleep, that we wind things down, read books and are quiet, or listen to like soft, easy music or whatever you like doing before going to sleep. Maybe you just like quiet, you know, but really just avoiding those screens. And that's so important, even in perimenopause, but certainly menopause as well, because you're just juggling a lot more and there's lots of shifts and changes. Another thing that I do differently now that I'm in menopause is I really prioritize my wellness baths. I love baths. I remember when we first moved to Miami, I only had a shower and I was so sad because I was like, I love my bath at the end of the day, you know? So in our home now that we live in, I'm so happy we've got a huge tub. I'm only 5'2", 5'1.5", but we'll call me 5'2", and it's huge. And for me, it's like basically like a swimming pool. And I tell you, I look forward to my baths. I don't take them every night, but probably a couple times during the week. And it's so helpful. It's really helpful for our stress levels, and it's so helpful for your hormones and even your immunity. So what I like to do is I add a little baking soda in my bath. I use Epsom salt in my bath, and then I use some essential oils. I personally just love lavender, but it really helps me because, you know, sometimes when our hormones are raging or we've had a long day or we just feel like the fuse is here, that bath at the end of the day, it is such a treat. It's such a reward, and it's really something that I really value, and I know that it can help you too, and it's just something I look forward to anytime I give myself that bath. The next thing that I do now that I'm in menopause is I prioritize protein. A natural thing that happens as we age is our muscle mass actually decreases. So we want to prevent that, and we want to retain our muscle mass. So making sure that I eat protein with every meal is really important. I actually did a whole video about this. You can check it out here. I'll leave it in the cards here, or also down below in the description box. So a good guideline for you is for every pound of body weight, you should be having about a half to a gram of protein. So for instance, if you're about 150 pounds, you want to aim for about 150 grams of protein per day. I know that can seem like a lot, but think about it. Just 6 ounces of chicken, that's going to give you close to 50 grams of protein. You're almost halfway there. So just making sure at each meal that you're prioritizing and making sure that you have some protein on your plate. It's going to help with your muscle mass. It's going to help with your metabolism. It's going to help you feeling more satisfied. And like I said, if you want to dive in deeper, check out that video where I really break everything down for you. Next thing that I do differently now that I'm in menopause is I avoid that annoying feeling of that scratchy, itchy skin. One of the symptoms of menopause is like dry, itchy skin. You know, we start losing moisture in all parts of our body, from our skin and internally. It's just not a great thing. So you want to make sure that you're moisturizing your body. And I'd love to tell you that I was always really good about that, but honestly, I wasn't. My skin is very like normal, especially on my body. And you know, as long as I'm using like a gentle soap or body wash, I was like fine. I used to use coconut really religiously, but after I had my kid, I don't know, you start forgetting about things that really help you, and I just wasn't willing to take that time. So I changed my mindset around it. Those 30 seconds that it takes to put on your moisturizer, I just think of it like I'm giving myself a warm hug. And I really, you know, if I have that mindset of like, this is a gift, this is something that I'm giving myself, it really helps me to remember to do it. Because even again, if I'm in a bad mood, had a bad day, feeling frustrated, cranky, tired, all the things, at least I'm not gonna have that scratchy skin to go with it. So it really, really helps. Coconut oil is great, super inexpensive. So you wanna get virgin, unrefined coconut oil that you can get at your grocery store. If it's good enough to use internally and you can eat it, it's definitely good enough to use on your skin. So that's a great, really inexpensive one. I was also gifted an Augustinus Bader body cream that is phenomenal. Oh my God, when I tell you, this makes my skin just baby soft, and literally even if I forget the next day, I'm still soft and dewy and glowy. But you are worth it. Moisturize your skin. I'm telling you, you do not want to have that menopause scratch. It's not fun. And we finally are getting to the one that is so controversial for people, which is exactly what we're doing here. Talking about menopause. You know, I grew up in the 80s and it really was not a topic of conversation, but I'm so happy that now women are really being open and sharing about their experiences more. And that's one of the best things that we can do when we're in menopause, is having these conversations. That's how we connect, that's how we feel better, that's how we can help each other and really have that sense of community, knowing that we are not alone. This is a natural part of your life. It is not anything to be ashamed of. It does not mean that you are no longer attractive or beautiful or worthy of being seen. Unfortunately, I hear a lot of women say, you know, I felt invisible once I reached 48 or 49 or 50 or whatever. No way. We get to change that story. So one of the most important things that we can do is talk about this. And I know this might not be for everyone, right? Maybe, you know, you don't want to be like, hey, I'm in menopause. That's okay. I'm not saying you have to all make videos and be on social media talking about it, but certainly having a trusted group of friends or circles where you can share your experiences, ask questions, you know, refer each other to doctors, etc. That's what really gives that feeling that we all need as women, of knowing that we are not alone. So that's what I've got for you today. You know, again, my goal on this channel is to create a sense of community. So please do me a favor and leave me a comment and let me know if this was valuable and helpful for you. Again, we're creating a community here. This is YouTube. That means it's for you. So please let me know what helped you, you know, what insights or ahas you had by leaving me a comment. It also really helps me on my channel. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. It's totally free to do so, and then you'll know every time I have a new video that goes live. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.